All right, guys, this is Jacob from When'd You Me This, and I got a strategy coming to you here. It's not the first time. This is either the second or the third or the fourth time I've done this strategy. I came out with this a long time ago. I think I called it the power of the 6 and 8 or something like that. And again, it is very simple, but a subscriber keeps commenting and promoting it, and he's right in that it's effective. All right, so you start with 30 on the 6 and 8. If you have to shoot, you got to have a pass line, but we're just going to act like we're just playing other shooters. We're always going to be working, and if you lose, you go up 1 unit on each one. If you win after 1 loss, then you're gonna regress down because you should have got your money back. All right. The problem with this strategy is if you get 2 losses in a row, you'll have lost 2 units, 4 units, 6 units, and even when you go to that third level, you're only getting 3 units back. And that's the problem in this strategy. But a lot of times this will work consistently. All right, here we go. We're working always. There's a 9. All right, and we're going to see what it ends up as. I'll give it 5 shooters. And there's an 11. We'll give it 5 shooters and see where it's at. Now, this should work a lot of the times, guys. This is a good strategy. I put this out a while ago. It's not a martingale. It's a progression, regression type strategy. Well, there's a 7. We had 5 rolls or 4 rolls there without a 6 or an 8. It's not a good sign. Okay. So we're essentially down 2 units. Let's keep track of it. 2 units. So now we're going to be putting out 8 units, or 2 more units on each one. Sorry, 4 more units that we're going to be out there. Still always working. Now, one of these will cover those first 2 that we lose. And there's a 7, all right? So now we just lost 4 more units. All right, so now going to the next level is going to be 90 apiece. So now we're putting out 6 more units. Now we have to have 2 hits to get back our initial, to go back down to $30. All right, 1 hit won't do it. So now we're getting further behind the percentages. Further and further behind them. And there's a 6, all right. Now, a lot of times you'll come back from this, just like we're doing here. 105, okay. All right, 105, it's going to take away 3 of these units, right, that you're going to be down. You still got to leave this up. You could drop down 1 level if you wanted, but, so, I mean, if that's the case, if you want to do it each hit individually, you drop down 1 level. All right, now you still got to have 2 hits to satisfy this. And there's a 7. All right. So we're going to lose again 4 more units. All right, so we're going to have to go back up to 90. But this is exactly the way this loses. When you just get in a run where there's just not enough 6 and 8s early to get yourself some buffer. And there's a 5. And this is how this loses. Now, I'm sure some people are going to say, you didn't have to be on the come out. This is not, I'm randomly rolling the dice, so it doesn't make a difference whether when you're on or off, when you randomly roll. It doesn't matter. And there's a 7. All right, so we're just not rolling enough 6s and 8s. All right, there's 6 more. All right, we don't even have enough to go to 120. I don't think. Not quite. So I'm going to add 15 bucks from over here. So we'll have played 615. I'm not going to go any further than this. And the new point is 10. And again, it's not usually going to go this bad. This is super, super bad for this. I mean, this is about as bad as it gets. And there's a 9. But it could. This is how it could go. Easily. Easily could go like this. And there's another 9. Well, I mean, without even, you know, it being all that crazy. This is a pretty good roll so far, but none of them have hit the 6 and 8. Had 2 9s, a 4, a 10, and there's the 7 before a 6 or 8. And so again, this lost. This is going to be 8 more units. Okay, so 8. It lost 21 units. It barely won any. That's a really, this is like the worst example of how this could go. No doubt about it. Worst example, I would say it can't go a lot worse than this, right? So I'm going to run through it one more time and see if it does any better. All right. Just because from a probability standpoint, you have 10 ways to win against 6 ways to lose. And we just didn't see that there. We didn't see anything close to that. So that's a very bad example. All right. So this example will probably go the other way. There's a 3. Okay. Remember, we're always working. There's a 4. That's our point. This example, it'll probably go the other way. It'll probably get a few hits here and there. Maintain it. So, oh, it jumped off the table. But again, guys, I showed this and I showed multiple versions of this months ago. I don't even know how long ago it was. A long time ago. And there's the 8. Okay. So this is good. This is how you want to start. You want to start out ahead. Because if you start out ahead, now it doesn't hurt so bad when you lose. You're not losing at the same rate. And there's a 10. Because if you've already got some buffer. 8. Okay, so now we're up a whole play. And that's where you want to get at. If you can get here to start, you're going to be in good shape. And we have a 7, okay? There's 60 out there. We drop 60. We don't got to go up here because we were up. But you know what? Let's go up anyway because that's the way this guy plays it. That's the way the guy that's commenting all the time plays it about this. The one thing I just want to say, guys, I've already showed this. This is already something that I did a long time ago. Because of the same exact reasons he talks about. Dang, there's a come out 7. All right. Now we're going to the 90. The 10 to 6 ratio. 10 winners to 6 losers. The problem lies in that you lose twice on every 7, but you can only win once on every hit. That's where the problem lies in it. And there's a 5. And that's what catches you on this. And there's an 8. Okay, I didn't keep track of winners and losers, but I'm just going to drop down one level. All right, so we need another hit, and we'll be probably back to even, I believe. Or maybe even a little ahead. There's a 9. But again, this on paper, in the math, is very effective. The problem is it needs a little help. It's not perfect. It needs just a little bump, right? A little help. And it depends, however you want to do it. It doesn't really matter how you want to help it. There's a 9, but it definitely needs just a little bit of something else. So either you need to play a don't pass with it, or something. There's a 5 point made. Something that goes along with it to just mitigate a little bit of the damage on the stem. It doesn't have to be a lot of it, just some of the damage. Because you are going to get a good bunch of 6 and 8 hits. And I'm not dice controlling. If you're a good dice controller, this probably works a lot better. Because you can target those 6s and 8s. And for that, kudos to you if you can do that. You're the man. I'm not necessarily great at it, but I'm just showing that how how this strategy, it can lose. It's not perfect, all right? 7. There's a 6. So we got a lot of rolls there between 6s and 8s. And we kind of got lucky that there was no 7s because we are rolling random. So that there was no 7s and all that is kind of lucky. All right, it looks like we're up 70 or 65 bucks. So that's pretty good. See if we can, oh, off the table. See if we can't maybe get another hit in here. Give yourself a bigger buffer. Because right now, we're up a whole play, which is good. And there's a 10. That was on that 8 too, and it rolled off of it. But again, this is a solid strategy. But in my opinion, it's more of a piece of another strategy is what it's more to me. 35 bucks. Like, I don't think it stands alone very well. I think that's why, in fact, I think this led me to the 6, 7, 8. I believe that's what happened, is this one led me to the 6, 7, 8. There's a 7. Because I kept running into these instances where 2 losses in a row and I couldn't catch it. And so that's why I kind of added in that dome, and then it started working. All right, here we go. Because you're not actually losing. And there's an 8. All right, so this one is definitely going probably more consistently. That first one was brutal. I just don't think that I'm not saying it can't go that way, because obviously it can, it did. But I don't think that's indicative of normal. And so this is more normal. You're going to kind of bounce between up and down. Oh, I have it off the table again. It's just like at the casino. Off the table, off the table, off the table. Some of those tables are crazy. If you hit anywhere in the layout lines, it's going off the table at some places. There's a 10 point made. You know, if you hit anywhere in here, bang, off the table. And aces. Again, we're not playing as the shooter, so we're just always working. And right now, this one's doing good. But it's not making up for that first one loss. Now, in my opinion, with this strategy, if you were going to play this just stand alone, you'd want to take a lot of money and you'd want to play it all the way up. And by all the way up, I mean you'd want to play it. There's a 6 where you go up on the winners and you go up on the losers. And you just have a top that you stop at eventually. So maybe you stop at 420, you know? So no matter what, winner or loser, you go up. And there's a 7. And that's the way I think if you're going to play this by itself, that's more effective to me. And maybe I'll show a little bit of that at the end. But anyways, we're seeing what happens here. It's kind of bouncing back and forth. This is very normal for this, and there's back-to-back losers, okay? And again, guys, it doesn't matter that I'm off or on the come out there because I'm rolling them randomly. All right, so we go to the 3rd level, which is 90. So if I don't win right here, if I don't win on this roll, I'm really, like, not on this roll, but on this shooter, I'm really, really behind. And it's going to be too hard to make up. You just will have to have such a good run to make up being down this far. And there's an 11. But sometimes it will. I mean, sometimes you're going to have those runs of 6s and 8s that are just amazing. But most of the time, it's going to go pretty even. And because you lose at a 2-to-1 rate, it really evens out. In fact, it kind of puts you in a negative situation against the 7. Because the 7 has 6 ways. That's my son flicking the lights on and off. The 7 has 6 ways to lose against 10 ways to win. The problem is you lose at a 2-to-1 rate. So it's really more like 12 to 10 when you add that, when you when you do that math. It's really more like 12 to 10. And that's something that comes with, there's a 3. That's something that comes with having played this 1,000 times. That I realized that that's true. That 2 to 1 thing is very, very true in this strategy. Now again, I'm not knocking this. This is a very good play. What I'm saying is it's not a good play by itself. All right, so now we're back to even basically after all those rolls. We roll a 7 here, we're gonna be down again. So you see what I'm saying? Now you could play it to where when you get back to even, you just take it there. All right, so we got a good run here. 2 8s in a row. It's gonna be 70. So now we're gonna be ahead a little bit. And you'd want your profit goal to be pretty small if you're gonna play this. With a pretty small percentage, because it's gonna go back and forth so much. There's the 6, all right, we're on a good run. 35. And now, you know, obviously you'd want to have a version, a time when you go up with winners also. And that's what I was talking about earlier. There's another 6. All right. 35. So here it goes. It's playing good right here. And this seems right. This seems very, very normal to me. This one, the last one was pretty bad. I mean, it went about as bad as it could go. And there's the 7, okay? That was good, though. It was like 4 hits before a 7. I mean, that's better than you can ask for. All right, so we're up 100, 125. We're up 150. I mean, guys, that's about as good as that's going to do. All right, so I'm going to play the other way. I want to show you really quick. Now, this will take a much bigger bankroll. I'll do it with 600 and see where it goes. But win or lose, we're going to go up to 420. All right, win or lose up to 420 and see what happens. And there's an 11. It shouldn't take long either way. There's a 5, that's our point. Because you're going to be winning more when you do win to press with. And there's a 7, okay? And I'll show you why this is good if I get there. Because you started with 600, so if you can get to 420 on each number, that means you're in the profit. So that would mean that one hit, you're going to be significantly in the profit. And there's a 9. You know, so that's what that will indicate. So if you, and you can make that whatever you want. You can make it 240. All right, so there's a $70 winner. Oops. So what we're going to do, we're going to bump them both up. And there's an 8 again. Right, it's going to be 105. So this is where it starts building up. And this is my opinion on how to play this. This is how you should be playing this. Because when it does hit, there's the point of 10. Your one little run of 6s and 8s, you get 3 of them in a row, you're going to be big time profit. And there's an 11. And so that's what I like. If you're going to do this. Oh, off the table. Now, is this going to work a lot? No. You're going to get crushed a lot of times on this. 3, 2, 5. That's the point. All right, here we go. And the 4. And again, guys, I'm not dice controlling. I'm just chunking them. And the 5. Anyways, guys, I'm going to end it there. You know what I'm trying to do. Anyways, guys, this is Jacob from Win Me This, and you have a great day.